Chapter 18. The World is Alive. How Ancient Civilizations Heard the Earth Speak. 1. Poseidon and the Volatile Oceans, Hellenic Waters. In the classical landscapes described by Bulfinch, the geography of the world is defined by the temperamental reach of the sea. The Mediterranean was not a mere body of water but the domain of Poseidon, the earth shaker. The oceans represented the subconscious of the world. Deep, dark, and prone to sudden violent eruptions of rage. To the Greeks, the sea was the ultimate boundary. It was both the road to glory and the graveyard of heroes. The islands of the Aegean were viewed as the crests of submerged mountains. And every spring and river had its naiad or Achilles, signifying that water was a living, sentient force. The sacred landscape was a vertical dialogue. The heights of Olympus represented the clarity of the air, while the depths of the sea represented the untamed, churning emotions of the gods. To sail was to enter a sacred contract with Poseidon, a reminder that human civilization exists only by the mercy of the waves. 2. Agni, the sacrificial flame and the hearth, Vedic fire. In the Vedas and the Mahabharata, fire is the most vital of the elements, personified by the red-skinned god Agni. He is the priest of the gods, the one who bridges the gap between the mortal and the divine. Fire is not seen as a destructive force, but as a transformative one. It is the mouth of the gods. Every offering poured into the sacrificial fire is carried by Agni to the celestial realms. The sacred landscape of India is dotted with tirthas, holy fords or crossing places where the veil between worlds is thin. While fire lived in the hearth, it also lived in the stomach as the fire of digestion, and in the mind as the fire of knowledge. This elemental view suggests that the universe is a process of constant consumption and refinement. Fire is the witness to every oath and every marriage, the warm heart of the home that mirrors the burning sun in the sky. 3. The Nile, the vein of resurrection, Egyptian soil. As analyzed by Wallace Budge, the Egyptian universe was a narrow strip of green life bisecting a vast, dead desert. The Nile was the physical manifestation of the god Hapi, and its annual inundation was the heartbeat of the cosmos. The sacred landscape was divided into the Kemet, the black land of fertility, and the Deshret, the red land of the desert. Every feature of the land was a theological map. The east bank of the Nile, where the sun rose, was the land of the living. The west bank, where the sun set, was the land of the dead, populated by pyramids and tombs. The river was the highway of the soul, a liquid thread connecting the physical world to the Duat. To the Egyptians, the landscape was a mirror of the resurrection of Osiris. The silt was his flesh, and the receding waters were his death, ensuring that the very ground beneath their feet was a sacred promise of rebirth. 4. The eternal blue sky and the sacred peak, Turkic horizons. In Turkish mythology, as documented by Bahattin Ojal, the most sacred landscape is the infinite, unblemished horizon. Kök Tingri is the eternal blue sky itself, a deity that is not humanoid but atmospheric and omnipresent. The earth, Otukun, is the sacred motherland, specifically the mountain forests that provided sanctuary to the first tribes. Mountains like Khan Tingri or the Altai were viewed as the pillars of the world, the literal points where the earth touched the sky. These peaks were the altars of the nation, where the Kagans would climb to be closer to the divine spirit. The steppe was not a wasteland but a vast, open cathedral. Every spring, tree, and mountain had its eye, spirit, making the entire geography a living, breathing participant in the life of the tribe. The landscape was a source of kut, divine grace, and to live in harmony with the wind and the mountain was to live in harmony with God. 5. Yggdrasil and the Nine Realms, Norse Organicism. In the Prose Edda, the universe is not a landscape on a world, but a world within a landscape. The sacred geography is defined by the ash tree Yggdrasil. The elements are not abstract concepts but physical realms. The fire of Muspelheim, the ice of Niflheim, and the temperate Midgard of Midgard. The landscape is one of extreme tension. The sacred is found in the struggle between the fertile fields of the gods and the jagged, frozen cliffs of the giants. Jotunheim. The rivers that flow from the spring Hvergelmir are the veins of the world, carrying the primordial frost sap that formed the first giant Ymir. To the Norse, nature was a colossal, aging organism. The mountains were the bones of the first ancestor, and the clouds were his brains. A visceral, organic landscape that reminded them that the world was born of sacrifice, and would end in a final, elemental collision.